Case, I know the team that you're going to pick to be in number one in this spot. So, Chad, why don't we go to you first with your pick for number one?
Yeah, so just to kind of give some context on this division, last year we were pretty close to being bang on for most teams, at least in the range of where most teams were going to finish. The only team that we were pretty off on is the team that I'm going to pick to win this division, and that's the New Jersey Devils. Last year, guys, we picked them to finish at the number 5 spot. I think we were hesitant to put too much stock into some of their younger players and evolving and developing core, but the rebuild is over in New Jersey, guys, and Casey knows that better than anyone. This team is legit. Their top 9 is stacked. Their young players are another year older, and they have players ready to break out. A guy like Dawson Mercer comes to mind when I say that. Their defense, even though they lost a couple guys on the back end with Graves and Severson, they gained a player like Luke Hughes, and I don't think they'll be hurting in the defensive categories this season at all. And in terms of goaltending, Kira Schmid, another full season with that guy, which is incredible in a 1A, 1B situation with Vitek Vanacek. So I think this team, top to bottom, is better. And, they're a team that controls the puck really well. And I just don't see any other team in this division being better than them in the regular season and getting more points. So I'm picking the New Jersey Devils to win the division. And I'm sure, Casey, that's music to your ears.
That is definitely music to my ears. And you know what? When I was doing research for this, heading into the Metro, I was like, oh, I'm pretty sure that we're all locked in with all of these picks. I was so sure about it. And then I started doing research and I was like, you know what? I actually have no clue what I'm going to do here. And I was kind of hoping that you guys would give me some guidance. I think there's 3 teams that could win this division. No problem. But when it came down to it, I did have the Devils at number 1. They're obviously my team. Last year, I was so sheepish on them, and I can't be doing that anymore. I got to be bullish, and this team looks so good. When I say that, I think that they're going to be 1 point above another team in this division, just as the Devils were 1 point behind another team in this division last year. When you look at the offense of this team, last year, Jack Hughes breached the 40 goals. He'll be back there again for sure. They had 2 30-goal scorers, 3 20-goal scorers. Now they add Toffoli into the mix with 34 goals last year and 73 points. You get a full year of Timo Meier, and you get lots of younger guys kind of getting a little more confidence, a little more ice time. Maybe Alex Holtz cracks his team. Andre Palat, can he get back to his normal self? I think there's just so much upside of this team on offense that, I think goals are going to come in bunches for them. And really what I love about this situation is that this is what happens when you have a long rebuild. They're now solidified as a good team in this league, and they have tons of internal competition. Right now, they added a Thomas Nosek, but he's going to be fighting for a spot with a guy like Nolan Foote and Graham Clark. So I really love the way that it's set up on offense. And then on defense, the top 4 is set. Siegenthaler Hamilton was such a good pair together last year. Luke Hughes is certainly going to be playing with John Marino in my mind. John Marino was one of the best defensemen for the first half of the year on this team. I loved the way he played. I felt so safe every time he was on the ice. And then when Luke Hughes was up with the team, he was noticeably one of the best defensemen on the ice. And then again, just like with the offense, internal competition with this team. There's Kevin Ball, there's Brendan Smith, they added Colin Miller. Will Shimon Nemitz, will he make a push to make this team? I think he could. There's a lot on the right side with the Devils, but he looked really good in that prospect camp, and he looked amazing in the AHL last year. So I'm excited for that. I think naturally, the pundits and other people are going to be saying that the question mark for New Jersey Devils is going to be in the net, but I have a lot more faith in Vanacek than others do. He was excellent in the regular season last year. He fell off in the playoffs, but then Schmid, he was able to step up, and there's something about him. He's so calm. He's one of those goalies that, it takes no movement for him to make saves, and you love to see that, and he just looks like he's a natural back there, and I'm so excited to see the upside of that guy. And if that doesn't work out, they've got Dawes, Shalgren, Kincaid. It's a depth chart back there. So I'd really like to see them work on the power play. It was decent last year, but I felt that it was streaky at times, scoring lots of goals and then disappearing for a while. And their PK was excellent. So I really like this team. For the other teams like Carolina and the Rangers, it's not that those teams are taking a step back by any means. It's that I think the Devils are taking a step forward, and I think that they will win this division.
Yeah, I agree. It's a clean sweep, and I've got the Devils at number 1 at the top of this division as well. They took a huge step forward last year and made a second round appearance, of course, beating the Rangers in the first round. Thank you very much. And lost to Carolina in the second round. But you know what? Carolina was and is still a damn good team. And this was such a great learning experience for Jack Hughes and company. And now, they're another year older, like you said, Chad. They made some nice ads in the offseason, bringing in a guy like Tyler Toffoli and Colin Miller for depth, and the list goes on, and extending other guys that are going to be a part of that core for a long time to come. So now that these guys are a Stanley Cup contender, I think, and with their high-flying offense and the progression of young defensemen like Kevin Ball and Luke Hughes, you can throw Simone Nemec in there as well. I think that the goaltending will be fine. Healthy competition between Vitek Vanacek and Akira Schmid, who really showed something in the postseason for these guys. So I'm not really too worried about that at all. And I think that it's the offense for me and just the dynamic ability in the forward group that separates this team from a Carolina and a New York that puts them at the top of this division. So took a step last year, second round, playoffs, now Stanley Cup contender. I like the Devils, and Case, you got to be excited.
Yeah, and when you look at the completeness of this team last year, and that's before they take the step of this year, I think I didn't write this down, but I was looking earlier, and I think they were 4th in goals for last year and 8th in goals against, whereas a team like Carolina was 4th in goals, or 2nd in goals against, and then like 15th for goals for. So, it's just the two-way play of this team is phenomenal, and I think it's only going to get better. So I can't see them losing this. Well, sorry, no, I'll take that back, because I did say that 3 teams could win this division, and I will stand by that. But yeah, why don't we get into Carolina then? Because I wasn't expecting a clean sweep of the Devils, because I thought that you guys would just want to argue with me or make me feel small in some way like you normally do. So.
I was going to ask, do we normally do that, Case? Something on your mind?
I'll leave that to my therapist.